movement, you can see my arm is propped up on my knee. That is for more of a beginner row, because we're going to pull this baby. We're going to pull this kettlebell up to here. Now you don't have to be folded over as much, and some people also like to stagger their stance to provide a wider base, to be pulling it up. But I want you to do about 8 to 12 reps on each side, and again, you can prop yourself up, but notice I'm keeping the upper body level, and I'm not twisting and turning too much. I'm not going like this, whoa, no, not like this, just focusing the pulling so that the strength is going to be built in your upper body, shoulders, and you can exhale right as you're doing the effort part of this movement, okay? Find the angle that is feeling comfortable for your lower back, okay? So if you want to be staggered like this, maybe over time, you can try with your feet together, but I do want about 8 to 12 reps on each side. You can always shake it out, come up, because we were bent over row, pulling it up on this side, and you can see how you're growing in your strength, because maybe before you were using 10-pound and you needed to prop yourself up with your shoulder like this, but over time then you're gonna do it with the feet together, and then maybe you want to get yourself another kettlebell sometime, or even 2 heavy cans in your hands. You just want to search around your house and pull 2 heavy bags of something equal weight like this. But I don't mind doing it one at a time, because that is actually quite functional for translating to our daily life. We don't often have equal weights, this side and this side. So I don't mind training one side of the body and then switch to the other side of the body. Okay, so now I want you to find a wall or something, and this is the place to start. We're going to do an airplane, so we're going to have stability on one leg, single leg stability, so make sure your toes are spread apart to give you that better base. This is why I encourage you barefoot training, if you can possibly do that, and or at the very least, wide toe base for your shoes. That means I would not want your toes to be kind of pinched together, right? It's better for them to be spread apart so they can support your body. And what we're going to do is you're going to lean over at the hips, and you're going to, again, make sure that your hips are even. And then you're going to come out, you're going to take your hip bone up and then in. And by doing this, we are discovering our range and hopefully increasing the range for the hips. Okay, we want to be able to use our hips in all these ways. That is related to the pain we avoid in our lower back too, because we are strengthening the hips. So important. It's actually related to your knee health too. And so we're getting, you can bend your knee slightly, you can straighten up, just explore these different moves, and you can feel your glute on this side, on the supportive leg, really working. That is awesome. That's what you want to feel. And then you're rotating in and out. I'm going to move to the other side. You can be pushing into the wall. I got this handy palm tree, so I'm going to be rotating in and out. And maybe you're a superstar, you got to this awesome level of foot stability, single leg stability. You don't even need a palm tree anymore. You're just going to, not lose your balance, but over time you're going to rotate the hip and be able to strengthen your glute on the supportive leg side, okay? So try that one out. And then One last more advanced movement. If you want to get even more bit of cardio in, then you can add a lateral hop. If you're not using the wall, you can still use a wall. You can do this facing the wall and just push out, and then lateral hop sideways along the wall, and then hinge over again, and then have a little bit of cardio in there with that too. As we're smiling, I need some water. Let's take an active rest. By active rest is going to look like some bell handling. This is a fun little kettlebell drill we use for grip strength, wrist strength. We don't forget about these smaller muscle groups, but we definitely, you know, if you're driving or cooking or typing all day or playing an instrument, what have you, painting, then you want to keep your elbows close to your body and whoo, whoo, this kettlebell's hot, hot, hot. Just pass it, don't throw it, pass it from one hand to the next. It's called hot potato. And you can choose to do this or not. Otherwise, you can just put the bell down, practice your breathing, get ready for the next set, because we want to finish strong and then go on our way. If you're going to have a restful evening, connecting with your loved ones, or you're about to start your day and go through all your activities with the knowledge and the confidence and the enjoyment because you did this workout. First of all, it's a great way to start your day or end your day. Some people prefer working out at night. Just depends on you, so you choose. Active rest is completed. Now we're into our swing. So set the hips back. Hands on the bell, shoulders back, ready to blast off. I'm watching the clock, don't you worry. We're just strengthening total body, core, glutes, and breathing, coordinating your hamstrings. Yes. Really zone in here, dial it in. Make sure you get every swing is top form. Squeezing those glutes, squeezing them. Right about here, right about now. Let the bell drop. This is called a full mobility swing, and we're almost done. Still about 10 more seconds. Feet planted on the ground. Almost done. 3, 2, 1. Behind and release. Good. Now we're just going to do a body weight rear lunge. And the reason why I specifically program the rear lunge as opposed to the front lunge where you're stepping forward is because it's about your glutes again and your posterior chain. No weight until, as I mentioned, you're up to the level where you can hold it here and not compromise on the form. So you're going to step back. Most of the weight is in this front leg. Okay, the back leg is basically just bracing you. Okay, you're going to do about 8 to 12 reps on one side. So that's stepping back 8 to 12 times, pushing through your heel in the front leg, keeping your chest up. If you need to stabilize on a chair or something, then you can do that. Go ahead and do that because this is single leg balance again. And if you don't want to go too deep into your squat over time, into your rear lunge rather, over time, I hope you will, but you're dipping down and coming up, really activating those glutes. I should show you on this side. And then on the opposite side, so you can see this is the leg that's working, the stationary leg, and we're strengthening the knees in this too. Lower body strength, hip strength. That's why we like to add weight when it's appropriate, holding it here. But body weight, you can still achieve it. Great things using only your body weight for this movement. Okay, So then I'm doing this, and I want you to recall what we did in the warm-up, which was figure out different ways to get your body up and down off the ground. And that's related to longevity as well. Are you going to be able to get down and you know, if you have young kids around you and they're on the floor, you want to be on the floor, but if you are unsure how to get down, then that's a bit of a liability, right? So one way to get down is to take that rear lunge. You can use your hands and then swivel your leg around and sit down over your ankle. You can review this to see how I'm doing it. This is actually a formal type of get up, but I don't want you to overanalyze it at this point, because I want you to have it more of an intuitive movement. But if you can incorporate the rear lunge, that would be awesome. This is just one way to get up and down off the ground. And this might be your sticky spot, because it takes a phenomenal, well, not phenomenal, but more core strength than maybe you realized you needed, or maybe you're surprising yourself. You say, I do have that strength to come up. That would be awesome. That would be good. Don't forget the other side. In this brand of kettlebell kickboxing, we call this the bird, because it's like your beautiful bird of choice is coming down onto her nest, and we're going to alight, control, instead of plopping down. You can use your hands here if you want. One hand, even better. One finger. Over time, gradually strengthening. Then the other side. Control of your body, ownership. As we said, doesn't need to be fast, but steady and controlled. Good. If you ever want to do this workout, you have no bell, just remember, you can always practice your hip hinge, even if you don't have a bell. Just remember, it's different from the squat, totally different from the squat. We're finding the hips, going back. If you have a bell, you should be swinging it right now, because I'm only giving us a minute for this. And you're still squeezing your buns, even if you don't have a bell. Those glutes need to work. They need to fire every time. And we're never backward bending. No, your glutes are the brake to protect your back. Okay, that's why we're squeezing them. That's why we activated them in the first place, so that we can get stronger, avoid injury, fortify, strengthen. Every time, I'm just demonstrating with no bell, but using the bell, especially in this heat, is really going to take you to the next level, all through your body, through your whole body. Even though you're not using your arms to lift the bell, you're just merely using your arms to hold the bell. And that's another thing. I've seen some beginners, maybe they're holding their bell too loosely, and so it's kind of flopping around in their hands like this. That should not be anyone that I know. Okay, this is not proper. I'm just showing you, because it means you need to grip it just a little harder, not over gripping either. There's a happy medium, okay? Okay, this next one is involving a nice deep squat. You know, prop yourself up if you need to. And the squat is the knee bend, and then we're going to lean forward onto the hands, walk ourselves out, and try to minimize the tilting and shifting from side to side. If you can, then we're going to walk it back, because that centralizes the power in the core. You can stand up out of your squat. Nice deep squat again. And then coming out. Good. Feet can be together if you want to walk out like that. And then coming back. 1 or 2 more reps. I always like to give an extra squeeze to the glutes when I can. And coming out. Extend your plank. And then lifting up with the chest up. Weight is in the heels, knees are apart. Glute, using the glute to lift your body weight out of that motion. Good, now we're down on the ground. Gonna stay on the ground. We have one knee bent, okay? And we're gonna keep our neck straight. We're going to put this hand, same side as the bent knee, under the small of our back. This is again, borrowing from sports science. It's always on a foundation of sports science because we never want to injure ourselves during a workout, okay? We're here to train to be fortified. Then you just come up, not all the way, okay? You can do 5. Start with 5 on one side and see how you're doing. This is gonna strengthen your core while keeping your back safe because you've got this. You're reminding your back to be flat on the ground, your neck is straight, and then coming down in this bit of a curl up. Good, now the opposite side. And you're pretty evenly aligned from side to side. So I'm not leaning over on the elbow, but I'm just coming up through the center here. And then resting back down. And by having this knee bent, that protects the back too. Okay? Might recognize this movement. It's very common. Feels really good on your spine. It does amazing things, so let's get to it. Just going to raise my spine. And I always like to have a little bit of dynamic movement because I'm thinking about my wrists too, believe it or not, during this. But then my shoulders are shrugged here. At the one time, it's okay to shrug your shoulders and feel all along your back. Every vertebrae. If you can sit back, and then you can bring your shoulder blades together and raising your chin. And then back into the curving upward. And this time I'm going to stay in this position, and then I'm going to reverse the curve of the spine, raising the chin. For several breaths. Then I'm going to gently take the chin, the head from side to side, and even make some nice slow circles. One way, and then the other way. Even close my eyes, feel the breeze on my face. And then it's kind of like a Sphinx position when the shoulder blades are coming together on your back. You don't have to overextend, you don't have to, crank your neck out of shape here either. But just, it's good to have it aligned right there with your spine. Okay, last minute of faster paced, again, side to side movement. We don't just train up and down. We already did that actually. We don't just train forwards and back, we also train side to side. We did the forwards and back too with those lunges, if you remember. So we're all done that now, so we're gonna go side to side and gonna add a bit of a speed skater so you can dip your leg out behind, and then opposite arm comes cross this is a way to get those other parts of your glutes that you maybe didn't realize you had, but your gluteus medius, pretty important. Of course, go at your own pace. If you want to go faster or shorter stride in between, then you can do that. Some people might just want to really go for it, but we're not going to be sloppy either. We're still going to make sure our movement is really on point. Great job, you made it. We did it together, and I hope you're feeling awesome, not exhausted, but your body is going to come down to a more relaxed state now, and we're also going to lengthen. We're going to stretch out those muscles, the larger muscle groups, your shoulders, of course your quads, and your glutes. Minimize some soreness, take some water in, and just enjoy all the good feelings that come with having done it, having completed it, and knowing that even if you're resting after this, which you should be, you know, continue walking and stuff, but the work, your body is still, the muscles are still going to be strengthened during this rest time. So that's why I encourage you to fuel your body really well, and take as much time as you need to let the heavy breathing, hopefully it was deep belly breathing instead of, should never be panicky breathing up here in the shallow chest area, but it should be, you know, deep, more diaphragmatic breathing down here. And because breathing is really a tool that we can use to connect with all those other systems that we might not think about too much, but just to aid in really getting that deep level of relaxation and you know, fine-tuning our body system. So now we're just gonna curl down slowly. So I'm gonna raise my chin and then lower the chin, and gonna trace my hands against the body and then try to go down as slowly as possible, vertebrae by vertebrae. And then I'm gonna fold the knees, and then we're going to sit down and take one leg out and really feel a nice stretch in the muscle group here in the front of the thigh. And if you're right here, I encourage you to try to lean over. This is a good time to do it because your muscles are pretty warm, and leaning back so that your hips are more evened out like this. But if you're still, you know, pretty tight, maybe it's your first time or you're just getting into this, then you can support yourself however you need to, of course. And there's no need to go all the way down on the floor unless you really enjoy that. But I just really want to make sure that I feel this stretching, and then for about 5 to 6 deep breaths, okay? Some people like to count. I like to count the breaths. So one side might be tighter than the other side. That's normal, but we want to try to, of course, you work toward balancing it out too. Just like in our training, we work on muscle imbalances. So I'm definitely tighter on this side. I've been doing a lot of walking lately. Walking is great. Doesn't have to be power walking. Nice leisurely stroll. Go see the sunset. You know, go see the sunrise. Enjoy the new greenery in your neighborhood. Have a chat with your loved one, your friend, your child, your pet, whoever. You know, as often as possible. Walking every day doesn't hurt anybody. In fact, it's really good. And in the morning, getting the sunlight on your face too, on your eyes, so that your circadian rhythm can be brought into, you know, proper order. That's a really good idea, because I want you to sleep well. I want you to be well fueled and all middle of that. So now I'm just going to tuck one leg in here and going to exhale, and then I'm going to lean over, going to align with my leg and come down. We have different levels of flexibility, you know, we have different demands on our time, so it's not really helpful to compare with each other. It's just about you and your body, where you're headed from this day forward, right? And you made a really great choice. Thank you for doing this workout with me. I enjoyed it. I enjoy being out on this grass and sharing some great moves with you. So again, holding it for several breaths, and on the exhale, you can always come deeper. And if you prefer other ways of stretching your main muscle groups, your hamstrings, your glutes, you know, by all means, you know, go for your favorite ones, as long as you are feeling it. And yeah, people have preferences, that's fine. And I do like this one. I can feel a nice, some good feelings in my back and along the side there. And I'm going to make sure I have some good protein today too. So now I'm going to roll over to this side, spread the knees so I can get the inner thighs, and just rest the head on the ground, relax the shoulders, and this kind of a froggy stretch so that these inner thighs, hip flexors, we don't want to tighten them up. We did some good hip work today, of course, so we're paying attention to all these different parts of our bodies. And I do tend to go back to my favorite stretches and my favorite moves. Now I'm just sitting back on my toes and then just getting a little brief toe stretch here, and ankles, toes and ankles. And if you're going out for a long hike or you know, even a long bike ride, you know, don't forget about your ankles. And we did that single leg balance work. That was really good. Now I'm just gonna reach down into the grass and pull the shoulders. So feel the back. You can keep your hands over to one side. Back to center. And on the other side. Great job. Now the last thing I want to do is take my shoulders around and get the anterior shoulder stretch just like this. Clasping the hands. Just hold it there. Thanks again. I'm sure you did really great. Feel free to email me if you have any questions or comments, and we'll see you next time.